Ja, herzlich willkommen in der
Welcome to the Federal Press Conference, to the announcement of German-Canadian AI Alliance. I would like to welcome the Federal Minister for Government Modernization, Carsten Wildberger, his Canadian counterpart, the Minister for AI, and
den Co-Founder und CEO von
Mr. Solomon, Samuel Weinbach, co-founder from Aleph Alpha, Aidan Gomez from Cohere, and Mr. Schumann from Schwarz Digital. I think we have an hour available. You can ask questions in German or English. We provide simultaneous interpretation.
Übersetzung auf dem Stream.
But we don't have interpretation on the stream. But I think that should be okay. We agreed that Minister Wildberger would start. Thank you very much. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. First of all, I would like to thank Minister Solomon.
At short notice to here in Germany. Und ich freue mich natürlich auch insbesondere, dass
And I'm particularly pleased that the most important members are here, the representatives of Cohere, Aidan Gomez, and Aleph Alpha, Samuel Weinbach, and certainly also Schwarz Digits with Rolf Schumann. I'd like to start with a small story. December last year, Minister Solomon and I met for the first time on the fringes of the G7 summit in Montreal. In our first meeting, we both knew that it was urgently necessary for us to work on our sovereignty, and that is why we founded the German-Canadian Digital Alliance. And we said we need to act quickly and have a clear roadmap. Today is a pivotal moment for the technological future of our country and for Canada and the German-Canadian friendship. We want to join forces technologically and economically and look ahead together and move ahead together, especially when it comes to competitive and sovereign artificial intelligence. And both countries have excellent talents in these fields. To do that, we need partners, and Canada is more than just a partner. Canada is a friend. The merger announced today between Cohere and Aleph Alpha is living proof that our alliance is not just a piece of paper, but a driving force for real innovation and value creation. We are creating a global AI leader here, which brings together outstanding research and development from Heidelberg and Toronto. And the partnership with Schwarz Digits will make it globally competitive and scalable. Aleph Alpha is a beacon of German AI excellence. And with additional support from a strong shareholder and partner like Schwarz Digits, the team demonstrates that we in Europe can translate AI into market-ready solutions for highly regulated fields. And the financial commitment from Schwarz Gruppe and the scalable use of their AI infrastructure underscores the new company's global competitiveness. Cohere, a globally leading pioneer for secure enterprise-focused AI. And this founding team and Aidan Gomez, they are globally renowned researchers in AI. He's the co-author of the most cited AI papers, the Transformer Architecture. Attention is all you need. So Cohere choosing Germany as its second headquarters is a strong signal for Germany as a location to do business. What's being created here is a globally competitive, vertically integrated product that guarantees data sovereignty and the highest security standards. Germany and Canada fully support this merger politically. Our goal is to give sovereign solutions, such as those developed here, an excellent starting point, because this is also a matter of a government's capacity to act. We will need to implement AI on a large scale in our government administration to become significantly more efficient and automate processes consistently. And that's what we're doing. To do so, we need tailor-made, highly secure solutions, even agent-based AI systems that can independently support complex procedures. In public tenders, of course, we will place greater emphasis on sovereignty and data security. We need solutions which allow public authorities and businesses to retain full control of their data and tech stacks. And the market for this kind of trustworthy AI is enormous, not only in public administration, but throughout the entire critical infrastructure and far beyond this partnership and with our partnership across the globe. The parties have committed to generating significant local value in Germany, to AI development on an equal footing on both sides of the Atlantic, and to close collaboration with the German research community. The companies are also committed to adhering to the highest standards of sovereignty while respecting both countries' legal systems. This includes firm property rights for the German government regarding the location, German intellectual property, German value creation, and guaranteed sovereign access to the technology. Transparency vis-à-vis the German government has also been agreed, including the appropriate access to the company itself. This agreement is, from a technological, political, and economic standpoint, groundbreaking. I am convinced, and we should talk about this in a positive way, that what is created here is a globally scalable and competitive AI player of Canadian origin and soon Canadian and German double citizenship. I would like to thank our Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, especially because with his personal leadership and with his close and trusting cooperation with Prime Minister Kani, he set the groundwork, he built the groundwork for what is being done today, what has evolved from a political idea. We worked in close cooperation and coordination throughout the entire process, and my team who worked in the back, we had the necessary freedom to successfully conclude this project. I would also like to thank my esteemed Canadian counterpart, Evan Solomon.
This great collaboration. Es war manchmal immer nur abends, täglich, wenn wir uns gebraucht haben, ein kurzer Anruf.
Sometimes we just needed to call each other quickly, just direct contact. So thank you so much for that.
Und dass du heute extra hier hingekommen bist,
and that you made the special trip here today underscores the importance on this of both sides of the Atlantic. Thank you for that. Trade volumes between Germany and Canada have shown a steady upward trend in recent years, and this is a testament to the growing trust and deep economic ties between our nations. I look forward to continuing to work with you, and I'm delighted to be laying the foundation for a successful business today. But at the center of all this are the companies themselves. Without the companies who had this vision and the willingness to cooperate closely, we wouldn't be here today. So we want to play our part in this success. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Minister Solomon, the floor is yours.
Dankeschön. Thank you. Guten Tag, everyone. If I want to say, first of all, good morning to my friend Karsten, Aiden, who I think between these two, I talk more than my families right now, which is good. Mr. Wilberger or Karsten has been a remarkable partner in this, as has his team and my team. We have worked very, very closely, so I want to thank his team and my team who's here. I'll say some more words about the team at Cohere, many of whom are here, and a remarkable team. Aiden, who is a visionary and a leader, and this is really their day. We're here to facilitate their day. The team at Aleph Alpha, Samuel and his remarkable team we've gotten to know, and Rolf at Schwartz Digits. We've had some great meetings. This has really come together because of the goodwill, but more importantly, of the clear thinking of two countries. that have seen the world change dramatically and want to come together. I also want to just acknowledge the presence of our ambassador, who is here with her support, has been fantastic. She's just come back from Hanover Messe, where we have many Canadian companies, as you say, Minister, doing great business between Canada and Germany as this alliance grows. In the back, we have my parliamentary colleague, Jacob Mantle, who's traveling with us as part of our delegation. Merci, Jacob, pour représenter les gens de York-Durham. He represents the people of York-Durham and does fantastic work. And it shows that, much like in Germany, these are not partisan moments. We are trying, we each have our partisan views on how to build, but in the end, we want to build together. We need these alliances. I really appreciate the work. Jacob's a fantastic leader, and a pleasure to have you as part of this team as we all work together. I also just want to say one quick thing about the relationship between our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, and your Chancellor is long and trusted and deep. And this partnership that these companies have pioneered, that we have been so fortunate to have played a role in setting the framework, really starts at the top. I will say the phrase that our Prime Minister likes to say, we are just beginning. This is the beginning. The Sovereign Technology Alliance that we signed is the beginning, and what you see here is the beginning. This is about a moment where the geopolitical realignment and the technological revolution have come together, and this is about the kind of world we want to build through AI. Artificial intelligence is the transformative technology of our time. It's shaping our security, our national life, our economics. And if we're not careful, it will shape our values. Your ideas determine the tools you build, but once you build the tools, your tools determine your ideas. So we've got to build right and build with our values. And and the global landscape's consolidating fast, and we need to make sure that the power does not just rest in the hands of a few dominant players. We need options, and that creates real challenges and opportunities for countries like Canada and Germany and many others. Questions about control and questions about resilience, questions about where data lives, whose laws applied, whether democratic countries will have trusted AI options that reflect our values and employ our workers. Questions about safety and sovereignty matter. So that's why today is so important. Two world-class AI companies joining forces in this Cohere Aleph Alpha partnership to build a leading independent sovereign AI platform anchored in Canada with major strengths in Germany and around the world. And this is an important moment for Germany, for Canada, and for middle powers around the world. Let me focus on Canada. Cohere has been and remains one of our most important technology companies. It is strategically important. Founded, as you know, by remarkable Canadian-based talent. I'm sitting beside one of them, but there's many more. Built on world-leading research, and it has become one of the very few non-U.S., non-Chinese AI frontier firms at a global scale. It is absolutely an essential tech company in the world, and we believe in it strongly politically and strategically. And this strengthens Canada's position as their global headquarters in Canada is a signal that our ecosystem remains a leading-edge ecosystem. That their leadership is from Canada is important to us, and that their intellectual property developed and remaining in Canada, now, of course, with this new partnership with Germany, absolutely essential. And this is what we talk about when we talk about sovereignty. We have long supported Cohere as a government and will continue to do. We have invested in Cohere and we will continue to do so. At the end of last month, we bought 1,400 licenses from Cohere for our ministry, and we will continue to invest. Cohere's North is being used by the end of the month by the Canadian government, and we will continue to support this company because we champion our champions, and Canada will be one of the customers to this incredible company. Germany also becomes a critical partner in this, and with Aleph Alpha, we join together as strategic partners. So this is not the story of one company leaving one country or another. This is what a sovereign technology alliance looks like. A genuine partner, scaling globally, working together. That's how we all think about sovereignty. I often say sovereignty is not solitude. It is not. It does not mean isolation, and it does not mean building walls, and it does not mean turning away. It means having the capacity to build with trusted partners, to choose who to partner with, and to partner from a position of strength to access global markets. For Canada, that means supporting Canadian companies like Cohere and Talon and Canadian research, but it also means working closely with our most trusted partners, like Germany, and the German companies like Aleph Alpha, like Schwarz Digits, to build the kind of partnerships that democratic countries will need in the years ahead. And make no mistake, there'll be tumultuous years. We need to build, and we need to build fast. So this is the key to this partnership. Canada brings extraordinary AI research, talent, model development, entrepreneurial energies, IP, and companies. Germany brings the same: industrial depth, enterprise strength, engineering excellence, leadership in a remarkable, innovative economy. Together, we show that democratic countries do not need to choose between falling behind or becoming dependent on a small number of foreign platforms. This is what the Sovereign Technology Alliance is all about, that we signed at the Munich Security Conference to create the conditions so partnerships like this are built. Partnerships built on trust, which is a rare commodity and growing more scarce, not in this table. A path built on capability, on partnership, and that's what it looks like. Canada and Germany have been working together to deepen that, not just in speeches, but in investments, and will continue to do so. You will see more in talent sharing, market access, enterprise development, and our shared belief that our two economies together are much, much stronger. And the future of AI is bright because of it. We will also make sure that our citizens' jobs are protected, that our IP is protected, and we'll make sure that we protect citizens' privacy and their data, and that our citizens know that their data and privacy is secure and sovereign in the future under control of your governments, respectively. That's what sovereignty means. So let me just close with this. I want to thank Karsten for his leadership, his strong vision, and his commitment to building a sovereign economy, for making this happen quickly. We have to move quickly. We cannot have words and lectures and slogans. We need to build quickly, and we have done it. We met actually we were curling on a rink in Montreal on a very cold day, and we realized, I think, on the rink, we can throw rocks together, so let's do this. So, and then I've worked with Aidan very closely and his team, and I just want to say thank you. This is your day, Samuel. This is a day for two private enterprises who have come together. We are here to help facilitate. We are here to create the conditions for this kind of partnership and this kind of innovation. I want to congratulate both of you. I want to congratulate Rolf and your commitment to making this happen. Everyone involved has worked incredibly hard. Again, I will say what you are seeing today is a vital step. Step one. More to come. Thank you.
Mr. Gomez, please.
Thank you. Dankeschön. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to the ministers and to Aleph Alpha and Schwarz for being here. At Cohere, we've always believed in building AI that empowers independence, and today marks a pivotal moment in that journey. We're here to announce a strategic transatlantic alliance that will reshape the global AI landscape and accelerate our mission to deliver sovereign AI to nations and enterprises globally. Increasingly, as AI moves from experimentation into real-world deployment, our focus on security, privacy, and trust are key differentiators for businesses and for governments that are looking to accelerate their adoption. As we integrate this technology into the critical sectors that power the global economy, it is important that we get this right, and that's why we're here today. We're announcing today that Cohere and Aleph Alpha are joining forces to create a globally competitive AI powerhouse anchored in both Canada and Germany. This partnership combines Cohere's global AI scale with Aleph Alpha's European R&D excellence and deep institutional relationships. Together, we'll forge an independent, enterprise-grade, sovereign alternative in an era of increasing concentration. The world, today more than ever, needs champions of sovereignty and national autonomy. This merger enables us to grow faster and to ensure that the market has access to more secure and sovereign technology. This is a deeply complementary partnership, and we're thrilled to be teaming up to unlock long-term value for our customers and for the world. Our vision is clear. Organizations should never have to relinquish control over their own AI stack. This is especially important in the highly regulated industries that deal with sensitive data, like the financial system, the telecommunications networks, or government agencies that have the most stringent security and privacy requirements. This transatlantic alliance is built on the bedrock of shared Canadian-German values, where privacy, security, and responsible innovation are paramount. And we're uniquely positioned to be the world's most trusted AI partner, giving enterprises and governments across Canada, Europe, and the world the technology they need to move from exploration into rapid and secure implementation with absolute guarantees and certainty that their data remains their own. It's also an incredible market opportunity. The market for AI services is expected to grow over $1 trillion annually, and sovereign AI represents over 60% of that total. Cohere is uniquely capable of delivering true sovereignty with two of the world's largest economies at our back. This partnership unlocks access to massive-scale supercomputing infrastructure in Canada and Germany, an enormous market opportunity, and world-class R&D talent required to meet that demand. There are a very small number of companies on the face of our planet that build foundation models from scratch, and this merger will enable us to accelerate product development of our next-generation frontier models and agentic systems. As I've mentioned, we'll be focusing on delivering secure offerings for highly efficient and customizable AI in the most sensitive and highly regulated sectors like public sector, finance, defense, energy, manufacturing, telecoms, and healthcare. And we're particularly excited about our partnership with Schwarz Group, Europe's largest retailer, who is committing 500 million euros in financing to further accelerate this sovereign AI venture. Schwarz will deploy our sovereign offering on their cloud service, Stackit, strengthening digital independence for organizations the world over. You'll learn more about this in a moment when Rolf from Schwarz speaks. Together with Aleph Alpha, we will build more than just another product in the market. We hope that we will build a core piece of infrastructure to empower the economies, the sovereignty, and the values of our two countries. Cohere will now become a Canadian-German company, and I couldn't be more thrilled to have this partnership with Aleph Alpha and Schwarz. We're honored to work alongside you and to build together and to meet the growing demands for sovereign AI worldwide. We're also deeply appreciative of Ministers Solomon and Wildberger for their belief and support of this initiative. Working alongside our governments is essential to achieve our shared mission and to provide the free world with a sovereign AI champion. We invite enterprises and governments worldwide to join us in this mission. This is an exciting time as we remain in the early innings of a technology that will transform the way we work and live for the better. We fundamentally believe this technology should be about empowerment to help people achieve more. And we believe everyone should be able to adopt AI on their own terms, in their own language, and on their own infrastructure. Now I'd like to introduce Samuel, co-founder of Aleph Alpha. Thank you.
Herr Weinbach.
Vielen Dank.
Well, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here today in Berlin together with the two digital ministers. This very much underlines the significance of this day. My name is Samuel Weinbach, and I am a co-founder of Aleph Alpha. We founded Aleph Alpha in 2019 with a strong belief that companies and governments need high-performance AI that do not compromise sovereignty, transparency, and reliability. Over the years, we have consistently pursued our objective and have built an excellent team who I would like to thank today, because without this team, this step would not be possible. We have brought research into practice. This is the core of Aleph Alpha, and this is what we bring into this partnership. Today, we're announcing the next step. Cohere and Aleph Alpha are joining forces. What changes is the scale in which we can fulfill our mission. Sovereign AI at internationally competitive level demands two things at the same time: excellent research and a strong ecosystem in which research can produce special products. For us, this partnership means that we further evolve our research activities from Germany and at our locations in Heidelberg and Berlin. And we provide our clients with a stronger alternative, high-performance AI, which they can use while maintaining control of data and processes. And this is the core of the sovereign offer that we are going to further develop with Cohere and Schwarz Group. I would like to thank the political policymakers on both sides of the Atlantic. The backing of policymakers, the clear signal for digital sovereignty, has considerably helped to bring us forward. Research lives on exchange, and innovation develops wherever there are strong teams and strong ecosystems. I am really glad that we can do this. Thank you.
Zum Abschluss auch von meiner Seite nochmal herzlich willkommen.
I would also like to welcome you, and
in Germany and Europe, you're probably aware of the Schwarz Group. Across the Atlantic, we've come to be known. For us, sovereignty is part of our DNA. Independence, it governs all our actions. And Christian, we always say we invented digital sovereignty as a product, but it's an attitude. And this is what makes me proud today, because sovereignty as the basis of freedom and self-determination in a democratic way, it all comes together here because Germany and Canada represent the same values, and they create the framework and pool their forces to do what's necessary, what everybody says is necessary. We all say that it's necessary to be sovereign in the field of artificial intelligence, that we maintain our independence in Germany and in Europe. We need this for our companies, for our society. Everybody talks about that necessity. What happens here today, this announcement, the first step, is that Germany and Canada are creating the right framework for the governance, and we, the Schwarz Group, we make this possible from a technological point of view. Alpha and Cohere are two companies that have the talent. I was most impressed during this cooperation. From the very first day, we always believed in Aleph Alpha because we believed in the mission, independent, sovereign AI excellence here in Germany. And it comes from the talents, from the people, from the persons. Just look at what Aiden is doing, what Samuel has done. It was about research. It was about advancing the subject as such. Aiden spoke of regulated industries, special industries. I speak, when Samuel speaks of specialized models, what we have here in SMEs is the domain knowledge. That's us. We have excellent bases to enable excellent products. We are pooling our forces, our knowledge and talent to create a competitive global player in the field of AI. What we see here today is, I would say, elements coming together. It's just the first step built on a strong basis. We have the basis, and what I was most happy about when we started was when we first had interest in Aleph Alpha and supporting them, was the question whether we would be able to keep the talents here in Germany. We have that brain drain. And by partnering up with Cohere, we see that because they maintain their talents. And we want this. We have this academic environment here in Germany. We want to keep the talents here, and that's the right way forward. Creating the right governance framework with support from the public sector, the private sector, and living the sovereignty with Schwarz Digit, and give that talent a field where they can explore. We are building a product that will give us sovereignty and will provide alternatives beyond Germany, Canada, and Europe, and that will become relevant for many countries. And I'm most happy about that because we are starting to create a quasi-standard. And when I say quasi, We start with a clean cloud infrastructure that is truly sovereign. The data stays where it belongs. The intellectual property is secured and protected, where operation is carried out. On that, we build with excellent talent, providing an AI platform for governments and societies, and then creating the right framework with the help of policymakers to create, to provide the safety and security. That is what we need for digital sovereignty and AI. To conclude,
Wir haben so viele tolle englische Statements.
we've heard so many nice English statements. There is no bad business between good people. What happened here was the people coming together. It's highly complex. 2 countries, 2 governments, 2 legal frameworks, more than 1 ministry. Everyone is proud of what they're doing. Industrial players, they all have their values, their visions, and bringing all this together is really a great, great job. So thank you, everyone, for doing that. Your effort has made this possible, and this is just the first step, and many more are to follow. And from our point of view, Schwarz Group, we're proud and happy to be able to provide financial support. We didn't just believe in you and your visions. We believe in the scalability of this, and we look forward to the future and working together with great people like you. We now open the floor for questions. Mr. Dietrich.
Jan Henrich, ZDF.
Jan Henrich, ZDF. My question is more general to Minister Wildberger. How big is the advantage that the U.S. market has in the field of AI, and what role do such cooperations, such partnerships play in catching up? Well, certainly the leading AI players are certainly in the U.S., but this partnership between Cohere and Aleph Alpha is something we can be proud of. Cohere is extremely efficient. The same is true for Aleph Alpha. We worked with them, and we have excellent talents here. What we need for us is an alternative path forward, an alternative to the U.S. We need a partnership where we do not differentiate between Germany and Canada or Canada and Germany. We do it together with a strong foothold in both countries. And we as governments, we support that. We have requirements to sovereignty. We have use cases as governments. And there is nothing better than such a partnership. Just think of AI in our authorities, projects concerning the capabilities of models. All these things have been defined during this process. We will go our own way. And I hope that this will become a lighthouse for this country, something that will provide us with optimism and that will make people know that we have something to offer.
Ja, guten Morgen hier.
Good morning.
Ich hätte
I have 2 questions. One addressed to Mr. Solomon, and I will allow it to the interpreters to translate that. I would like to know all this discussion about sovereignty in Europe. How is that seen in Canada? What are your thoughts on that? These are European questions. Is this a door opener to the European market somehow for you? And the question to the both companies, the technological connections between the models, I will say, or the applications. Is it easy? How complicated is it going to be? And what are the benefits that you will take from that?
Thanks for the question. Maybe it merges a bit with the first question. Our Prime Minister described in his Davos speech having a choice between hyperscalers and hegemons. And we need to pioneer new options, a third option that countries need for their sovereignty. And this is a huge opportunity, especially on enterprise and government. this is really important. Where Cohere and Aleph Alpha position themselves is absolutely vital because it is competing on a space where security, privacy, and all the values that Aidan described, that this particular model can deliver on sovereignty. This is the unique aspect of this model, that it actually can deliver true sovereignty to governments and preserve their data. So the model fits the policy and the strategic objective. To your question, we are all seeking strategic autonomy. The sovereignty question in Europe is exactly reflective of the sovereignty question in Canada, but around the world. That we are moving from reliance to resilience. And one form of resilience is deepening new partnerships. Germany and Canada have a long-standing partnership. These are deeper, accelerating them in strategic areas like tech. And our population, much like the German population, is very seized with questions of sovereignty. Now, defining what sovereignty means is a core political and policy question of our time. But one definition is making sure that your citizens and your government's core data is under your own laws, not subject to the coercion of other nations. And this is a very important definition that this model helps us. And this is why the investment from a tech point of view is so important. So, I think when Minister Wilberger and I met, we shared a very similar worldview that Prime Minister Carney and Chancellor Merz also share, which is sovereignty requires new alliances, deeper alliances, and this kind of capability. And you've got to look at your strategic competitive advantages. We happen to have, in this particular, we have many, I should say, which is what the alliance is about. But today, this is illustrative of two, which match perfectly and reflect perfectly the way they're positioned to meet our sovereign needs.
Mr. Gomez.
To your second question, the team that Samuel and his co-founders have built is an incredible one and incredibly complementary. Their focus on small language models, on European languages, tokenizers, is a really complementary one to our own, which is more of a general focus on these large language models. I think what the partnership unlocks is a new scale of resources, access to compute, access to scale, and the ability to build much more large and capable frontier-level language models and agents.
We are excited for the exchange of this experience. So for a researcher, it is really talk to the family. This is how it feels like. So I'm not at all concerned about that. I'm really looking forward to it.
Darf ich eine Nachfrage an Herrn Solomon stellen? Es gibt in
One question, Minister Solomon. In Germany, in cooperations with Canada,
der Kanadier.
There's still this Five Eyes cooperation of Canada. How are you planning to explain that to Germany, that you try to support sovereignty for Europe while at the same time having this other partnership, this Five-Eyed partnership?
We all have multiple partnerships. I mean, this is complementary. Germany, like Canada, has partnerships in the European Union. We were in India together. We saw partnerships there. We made a partnership with Australia and India, a technology partnership. This is the strategic realignment that we need to have. We want Germany to broaden, to have multiple partnerships. And it goes back to your first point, and I think Aidan made the point. We want access to markets that share our values. The world's changing. The only way to really build up our world together is to advance partnerships that are built on rules-based orders, rules that are resilient, values that are resilient, and partnerships that can build on that. And in technology, it becomes even more important to have optionality, so you have so populations can determine how they want to function. So, I don't see this as conflicting, but I do think, I will just say that the Sovereign Technology Alliance is just one example of a partnership that recognizes that on this particular, and I think others will be part of this. This is not just a duo, although duos do very well in the world. But we are working quickly and productively together because you've got to show first and display results. And I think this framework is already bearing fruit, as you can see from today.
Kollegin Feuerstein.
Ja, danke. Laura Cipoll, Web.de und GMX. Herr Wildberger, das passte eigentlich ganz
Mr.
gut zu meinem...
Wildberger, this actually fits very good to my question. I wanted to ask, you want to become sovereign together with Canada. What about the approach to have European solutions in Germany? And the second question would be, maybe you can sketch out what you hope or what we can copy from the AI strategy of Canada. Well, first of all, we are building something unique. Because these companies that work at global scale, that cooperate at global scale, have one footing in Canada and one in Germany. So we see this as one thing. We do this together. At the same time, we are open for further partnerships. We are also in talks already with others. But of course, we first have to start. Of course, the interest also of our European friends is very high. As it was said before, it is clear that there can be very different partnerships, and there are different partnerships. And I cannot think of anything better than in this world order, in these times that are changing so fast, we can do something different. How good is it if you have a company that says, we don't have a problem to do things together and to share? That strengthens the alliance of those that share values. And this is what this alliance stands for. And we are open for others, for all friends that share the same values who would like to be involved. Of course, it depends on speed. We saw that, and the companies showed that in times that see rapid technological change. This is important. This is why, for me, this is also something like amplifying our relations to develop at global scale, to be open for others. And there's so much space for further partnerships, for new concepts. We also have to dare to take new paths based on values and trust and in accelerating excellence and competence. I also would like to ask what we can learn from Canada. We can learn a lot from Canada. We have had an intense exchange, and I think with all modesty we can say that Canada is also interested in seeing what we do. This is also part of a good partnership. If you have a look at Canada, that has a world edge research, we look at the Miller Institute, for instance, and many others, such as Joshua Benjo. But we also have the Cyber Valley in Baden-Württemberg and many other places, for instance, in Munich. That is also a wonderful ecosystem. Have a look at the Fraunhofer Society when it comes to cybersecurity. There are many different platforms where we work together and can work together. But we should not forget that if you want to be successful in the terms of AI in an industrial area, you need domains, you need champions. We have them in Germany and we have them in Canada. And this is a very important footing where we will be leading. I would also like to say something else. The Schwarz Group, as an example for many others, but in an excellent way, invest in a way that we have not seen in our country so far. 11 millions in Lübbenau, for instance, 11 billions in Lübbenau for a big data center, which is very efficient. The Schwarz Group and other companies in Germany are capable of providing sovereign infrastructure at a very high level. And now we have to say that the combination of AI model development with a combination of providing and creating infrastructure in this area, together with a partner and shareholder who also supports this, is a combination that is very different than with other models. We also have to take a path that is innovation-friendly, because intellectually we do not have to hide.
Danke. Eine Frage an Herrn Weinbach. Sie sagten, der Standort
You
Deutschland.
said that Germany as a location and Heidelberg, but also Berlin as locations. Maybe you can give us more details and say what workforce do you expect, what jobs would you create with this partnership? What do you assume what will be the situation in Germany?
Wir legen Kräfte zusammen.
Well, we're joining forces. It is about the research teams, which cooperate very strongly also with the entire ecosystem, especially Heilbronn, where DTH is also there, and D2. And it is a lot about further research, a further evolvement, sharing information and experience with the other teams. And we will continue the way we have, also in cooperation with other German entities such as Fraunhofer Institute. We also have cooperated with them in the past, and we will continue with them.
Aber trotzdem nochmal die Rückfrage.
I would like to ask again, so you would rather concentrate on Berlin and Heidelberg as locations?
Ist das quasi alles mit Remote Work oder so?
How about remote work? Or doesn't it matter? Actually, we have not really, this is not a question so far. Of course, we have different possibilities. We also have remote work, but there will also, a lot of work will be done in Germany. That is definitely.
Handelsblatt, vielen Dank.
Yeah,
Minister
I'm
Solomon,
coming from
Minister Wildberger,
Handelsblatt.
Sie sprachen beide
Minister
Souveränität
Wildberger,
an.
Minister
Gibt es
Solomon,
denn
you talked
Vorkehrungen,
about sovereignty. Are there any conditions that you have created concerning sales? Are these property rights that you mentioned, Mr. Wildberger?
Machen wir erstmal eins nach dem anderen.
Well, one thing after the other. First of all, we have to merge these companies.
Ist jetzt eine Menge Arbeit.
And a lot of work is ahead of us. A lot of work needs to be done. Without wanting to give you all the details, we have discussed several scenarios. And when we say about sovereignty that this is a long-term project and that we have to make sure that the company can be competitive and act the way it needs and have the resources that it needs. To find a good concept to ensure that sovereignty can be ensured in all aspects, what we have agreed on, that will remain a priority for us. And within this short time, I have to say that I'm not only glad, but also impressed that with such complex questions, we were able to solve this.
Das Unternehmen fängt jetzt an, sozusagen das, was
But the company is just starting to implement what we have agreed on. To come back to your question, we have considered all this and agreed.
I would just say we're very pleased with how this is working on the surface. But this is the beginning of the deal. The terms are negotiating. Each country has their own regulatory hurdles that they get through to make sure they meet their sovereign requirements. What's unique about this, and why I think it's so unique that we're here again, this is a private deal. One of the reasons we're here is this is a unique moment where we are coming to terms with, and I think uniquely coming to terms with this framework of how to have companies that can meet sovereign requirements in two countries, because the nature of this technology and the need at this moment is that we need to be able to scale quickly and still meet our each individual sovereign needs, both on the model side, on the data center and the infrastructure side. Canada has its requirements. Germany has its requirements. We respect that. But we've got to solve these issues of how to work together. You know, when we look at what the European Union has done over time, these are not hurdles that we know cannot be done. There are big hurdles in the past. Here's a new one. How in technology, when we need to have sovereign options, do two countries with two great companies come together to have headquarters to meet their sovereign needs? We feel we can do that. Our governments feel we can do that for our citizens, and we each have obligations to our citizens. And this deal will go through those very same regulatory hurdles to make sure they meet the sovereign needs. This will be a Canadian company, and we will be proud. And this will be a German company, and they will be proud. And this is what this partnership is going to be unique, which is why you're seeing something unique here. And I think you will start seeing more of that. And this is why it takes both innovative tech and innovative governance structures. And we have to innovate on both sides.
Wenn Sie eine Nachfrage gestatten, was beinhalten denn die
If I can ask back, what do these property rights entail? Well, first of all, I said that the new company will also have a big footprint in Germany, which means that talents and capabilities will be here, and we will build them up and we will use them together.
Es gibt auch eine deutsche Rechtsform.
There's also a German legal form.
Natürlich eine Verabredung, wie wichtig es ist.
Of course, there's an agreement or an arrangement on how important it is to have deals concerning a sovereign infrastructure. And a special requirement is for the many different conditions that have to be met that we need, also the development requirements, because in the end,
Technologie.
This company has to be able to develop technology, to be able to scale it at world level. This is our job, to support them wherever we can, knowing that I represent the interests of the people in Germany, German interests and Canadian interests. With this partnership, we represent them. This is my job. At the same time, I should not stand in the way to make sure that these talents, these entrepreneurs, can also keep pace at world level. And we have to make our contribution to help, because we need products. We talked about what we need. We talked about values, security issues, and of course we are exchanging views here and information. And our way is to help. Our job is to help and not to stand in the way, to represent the interests of Germany and the German people.
In Canada, we have our tests about what to maintain sovereignty, our national interest tests, and our headquarters and our IP. This is very important, and we're very seized with that with Cohere. This is why we've invested it. You know, Minister Wilberger's job is to work on behalf of the people of Germany, and my job is to work on behalf of the people of Canada. We are protecting each of our sovereign ecosystems, and private business has mergers all the time. Companies buy each other, they merge, they partner. That's good. This happens in the world. This case, there's a strategic element and there's a commercial element. We recognize the need to have strategically an alliance to build frameworks so partnerships can form, so they can scale to compete and have access to markets so they can compete. Because if we don't scale and we can't compete, our options diminish. And so this is an example where we will emerge from this, and I will proudly say that Cohere, as a Canadian headquartered company with Canadian IP, has a great partnership with a German company, and both countries will be building their sovereign stacks. Both countries will increase their sovereign optionality. And the world is now going to get a scaled world-class piece of technology, a technology company that will, frankly, help other countries with their sovereignty and other customers with their sovereignty. So, you know, we believe this is a strategic element, but there's also obviously the enterprise element, and that we're happy that those two things merge. But this is the world we live in now. We're the political side. We create the frameworks for what we believe are strategically beneficial economic growth for our citizens and partnerships, and this is one of them.
Wir haben noch gute 5 Minuten, deswegen kurze Fragen.
We have 5 minutes left, so short questions, short answers, please. Jan Willems, ARD. Digital sovereignty was on your to-do list from the very first day. 1 year after you took office, how far have we come, and what has your contribution been? Digital sovereignty is indeed one of this government's priorities and one of my ministry's top priorities. We didn't just mention it and say it. We took specific action to implement it. Some is still on the pipeline and some has been achieved. And I would like to give you an example. But before I give you these examples, we want to bank on partnerships. We want to have options. Sovereignty means growth. Being part of a technology that we haven't been part of in the past few years sufficiently. Where have we advanced? Well, right now we are in the process of building the sovereign cloud infrastructure for the federal government. We are almost done. We will talk about this, and we will initiate it in the near future. We have the digitalization of administration, approval procedures. With AI, I think we have seen the first breakthrough. We are already in the after use in some areas. This has a lot to do with sovereignty. We are dealing with regulation, with empowering SMEs. We are working on specific projects with the help of sovereign infrastructure, giving companies a way to move forward. We promote startups with the use of AI, with implementation. All this is important in our work, and it all leads to sovereignty. And today is a very special day, is a special milestone in a cooperation that feeds into sovereignty. And Minister Solomon and we are working on filling this partnership with more life, and we will talk about this partnership more in the future. Thank you. Tagesspiegel background. Aidan, the question is addressed to you. Do you plan to expand the headcount or increase the headcount in Germany for your operations? And how are you looking at the European market? Are you focusing on other countries than Germany? The Minister, AI sovereignty, in the first quarter, there was the companies were surprised that at the end of the day, they didn't have as much money as they expected. What's your assessment on this? Do you see a necessity to work on the 17% national, 17% European funds, and the rest private? Or do you see the necessity to change something? Aidan first.
Thank you for the question. We definitely will have to expand headcount. For the growth that we're looking to achieve, we're going to need to grow substantially. We're very excited to get access to the talent that's at Aleph Alpha and to be able to team up with them, but it's not going to be enough for all that we need to do. The broader European market is an incredibly exciting one. We want to partner much more broadly across the whole union and really the world. And so we'll continue to expand aggressively to meet the growth demands that we're seeing in market.
Ja, vielen Dank für Ihre Frage zum Thema Gigafactory. Lassen Sie mich das bitte noch mal.
Gigafactory. Allow me to expand on that. It's about the general question: how can we, within a short period of time, build up computing capacity? This is why we established the first national computing strategy in Germany. We plan to double the computing capacity in 3 years and to quadruple the AI computing capacity in 3.5 years. That's ambitious, but we have a clear plan, a clear roadmap, and I am convinced, we always say bigger than that. That's our goal, and we're working on that plan. We're checking the boxes. Now we have the Gigafactory question. Indeed, it's true, and this is part of a complex process, that we discuss modalities. I always pursue a pragmatic approach. I will say, okay, that's how it is. Let's take it from here. We will see a gigafactory in Germany.
100.000 GPUs.
I don't need 100,000 GPUs on day one. When it's smaller, it acts faster. So we are in exchange with the Ministry of Research. We are working together very well. And for me, it's important that it's not just about the gigafactory, it's about the computing capacity in general. And we have created the framework for that and are in the process of implementing that. So for me, we're on track. Clarissa Kögel, Politico. Mr. Schumann, this question is addressed to you. This morning, Welt published an article stating that you are going to invest 500 million and that you are not just financially involved, but you will provide the cloud infrastructure. Can you confirm both? Yes, it's a structural financing, the investment. We will do it the same way with Aleph Alpha, R&D and equity, part R&D, part equity. And the way we did it with Aleph Alpha, this new partnership will invest in this new partnership in the same way because we believe in it. At the same time, we have a sovereign infrastructure with StackIt. Aiden beat the drums for our product, not I myself, but it is a sovereign product, and of course we will offer it. Because not just because we can, but because we want to establish this infrastructure in Germany. Minister Wildberger mentioned Lübbenau. We have already started investment. We have one of the largest data centers to do exactly that. And what's special about this partnership is the commitment that we have, and we are committed as well. We need the commitment of the private sector. We want to achieve resilience. Just imagine if the future of the operating system, if a government or a company is based, if this is based on AI, it's about being resilient. It determines whether you will survive or not. So we need the relevant regulatory framework as well. And this is all part of this project. And this is why we are providing our infrastructure. It's part of our DNA. And the last question, Mr. Steiner. Yeah, Mr. Schumann again. I would like to know if you are planning to invest more in Canada to have more resilience in the data centers. Like I said, we learn from each other. Of course, we offer our solutions, StackIt. We offer them to other countries as well. And we work with local infrastructure partners to allow that. So this is part of this partnership to work across national borders. And what we do, what we define here is a new form of living sovereignty. And outside of Germany, Europe, and Canada, this will be interesting for other countries as well if they say, I want to be sovereign. Thank you very much to everybody. Thank you to both ministers. Thank you to all the others, and have a good day.